Woo! Got the coffee ready. Had these guys out for glamour shots last night. These are the new silver screen machines that come with figures. They're 1 of 18 scale. Just kidding, guys. I wish these were 1 of 18 scale. They're the Revels. I did a video on them before. Just got them out doing glamour shots. The guy with the shotgun under his coat. Awesome detail. Love these ones. Got the official patch on, eh? They don't make them anymore. Eh? One of the original ones. Anyway, let's get out of here, guys, and get going. We gotta go do some bargain hunting and see what's there. Plus, Dave, G, and Glenn, all 3 of them are working there, so we gotta go bug those guys. Hey fellas and ladies, 2 degrees here in Hamilton. We're heading to the ODA Show. We're not going for when the doors open because we said screw it. We don't got a bunch of people to meet today, so we get to sleep in. My eyes look like I did about 75 hits off my distillate pen before I'm driving the car, but they get like that after I take a shower. Luckily I've never been pulled over after I've had a shower, so it's the only time my eyes get like this, but especially the left one because I've had a broken eye socket and cheekbone before. But yeah, let's get going. Dave just texted me back. I texted them guys and asked if they needed anything, and maybe he needs a Timmy's. So anyway, guys, we'll do 75 more hits off the distillate pen and get going. Just kidding, guys. No stops to make I can think about. I'll put on my seatbelt so it's not chirping. Now you might hear that annoying lady from the GPS because, well, I still use it to tell me the shortest way even though I don't really need it. Maybe we'll hit a couple stores on the way home. We're in drought season, eh? So you never know when we're gonna get a shipment of toys. I haven't seen anything. I've been skunked the last 2 weeks. In fact, Friday I didn't even go check. I checked, but it wasn't when the store opened. It was, I went for my lunch a little bit later, like about 7:30 or so, but I didn't miss anything anyway. Sure we could just follow this straight down, so yeah, we can actually, so we're just gonna do that. Yeah, we'll just zip down Parkdale there. Looking forward to this. Last one was giant, so I figured I would wait, sleep in a little bit. I don't got any obligations there today. There was somebody from Marketplace, one person that wanted to meet there, so I sent that with Glenn this morning. I take it they met okay because, well, never heard anything. The person sent me a message, but then they unsent it, so my guess the message was, where's Glenn? But then he found Glenn, so he unsent the message, would be my guess. Driving through historic downtown Stony Creek. It's actually beautiful. I like it. It's got a small town feel. And hopefully the crowd's thinned out a little bit because I like waiting till the crowd's a bit thinner to get video, just for people's privacy, stuff like that. Apparently they do have meatball subs there today. For anybody thinking about going or was going, you might not see this video until, well, you won't see it until it's too late, but for next time, I guess. But I'm going to be grabbing a sub. I'll show you how they look. There is a place in town called Bronzy's that I've been eating there for years. They had the best meatball sub, and then I walked in here one day for an ODA show, bought a meatball sub, and went, wow. And I've been buying them since, and I feel bad, but that little catering thing beat Bronzy's. Wow. It should be good. I have a friend that recently started collecting 1 of 18 scale die-cast cars. He bought Shelby Collectibles Eleanor, was his first car, and he was wanting to go to the ODA show, and I said, honestly, there's not much of that there. It's mostly smaller scale stuff. I've never bought a big car from the ODA show anyway. I did get Glenn that Hot Wheels Elite 18 van, the 1 of 18 scale, for $30 that was missing the front windshield and the antennas and one of the lights. But it looked great sitting there, so we grabbed it. It's an easy project. I'm hoping to get not only an 18 van, but a van of any type, like maybe a 1 of 18 scale model that we could steal a windshield out of or something. But for $30, it looked too good to just let it sit there, you know? Come on, light. Should we stop in country style? Nah, we got pop to drink. We're gonna get a sub at the show. So, actually, I've got a great crush from last night's dinner. I got too lazy to cook and went to the burger factory. I was gonna go to McDonald's, which I friggin' detest. I only go there because it's convenient, but there is a lineup, thank God, so I went to the burger factory. Holy, but cop shop right up here, and this guy is just ripping it, eh? Nice Mercedes AMG though. Hear it popping, eh? Beautiful car. I'd rock it. See if he wants to race, eh? Come on, bud. Come on, bud. Ah, he thinks I want to race. That is so funny. He thinks I want to race in this Mazda 3, eh? That is so funny. He wouldn't smoke us, guys. I've got the green coolant in this. He wouldn't smoke us at all. What am I talking about? I forgot all about that. I've got the green coolant in this. You gotta catch up to him. Oh shit, he's waiting for us. Oh, I thought he was waiting for us. He slowed right down. I thought he was waiting for us to pull up. You guys missed the part. I already smoked him though. I smoked him, but I had trouble getting the camera to record. But we did race, and I did beat him. I just couldn't record it. Yeah, hopefully it's cleared out just a little bit. I hate this big rut on the road. It's one of those ones that wants to suck your car. Last time we had trouble getting this parking spot. Hurry up, bud. Car coming. Pull in, we'll have a cheat, and then we'll go in and check out everything. It's still full. Keep in mind, guys, this is an hour and 44 minutes after the door is open. Crazy. Dave Washner. There he is. I waved at Eric. He looked at us but didn't know who the hell I was. He knows my car. We're actually going to get a spot, a good spot where we can cheat. So this is the latest I've come here, guys. Before, I used to show up like before the doors would crack because I'd have a gazillion people to meet to pick up stuff I'd bought and drop off stuff. And it costed me a lot of money before because I was collecting all this stuff. Now I can just focus on my 1 of 18 scales. That's the thing, if you want to start collecting stuff, focus on certain things. Don't try to get everything, because then you end up with a room and every time you buy something you got to rearrange everything to fit it in. So anyway, let's have a cheech and we'll head inside. Never bought anything big here, but always take a bit of cash because you never know. Ooh, easy on that stuff from the reserve. Wow. Head inside, see what's popping. There's usually nice cars here, but winter time now, so if I seen a nice car here, if I owned one, I wouldn't drive it in this weather either. All the friggin' salt. Make sure that's looking its best. Might meet my future wife, eh? What do you think, we should sneak in the side door? Nah, we would never do that. Waiting on my sub, you could smell that. Ooh, they make good stuff here. The Knights of Columbus catering downstairs. Head out for a cheech while we wait for the meatball sub. Got a couple cool things in there that tempt me, actually. That's 1 of 64 scale. Like, one of them's an Impala SS, and the guy has the Auto World Ultra Red chase of it. Very nice. I'll show you guys anyway. Just waiting for the crowd to clear out a little bit. Hot out of the oven. That's what I was waiting for. But they're announcing the winners of the customs contest. Francisco won again. My friend, same as last time. He had a Tim Hortons combi. I'll have to have a look at that. I'll show you guys some of these tables. That's cool. That's an RLC that a lot of people want. The Thunder Roller, I didn't have one of those. It was on my list though. Oh, I had one of these guys though.
Not least, we have Best of Show or People's Choice. There was so much attention
that
to
one
the
was
Mario
hot
Kart
when it came out.
but there was one that stood out to a lot of people, and that's
Gassers are always hot. Dave's got good stuff here. She's a nice one. I remember this, the club car last year. I had to have it.
And he walked away.
Those are kind of cool.
I'm like, okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, never seen those.
I don't need to stay.
Nice GMPs for sale. They called 9832 first. Look what we got. Apologies, guys. There was some music there, so gotta do a voiceover. Gotta watch the copyright.
Collab with him.
One of the last sets I had, I sold. I kind of regret it now. I loved that truck. It wasn't even the hot one of the set. The hot one is that one. My favorite was that one. I love the older ones. That's a very cool set. Love the AC/DC set too. Just heading out to my car to drop off. I grabbed this for a friend Cal that was looking for one. I never did see them in the store here, but I know they came. Drop off my precious sub, and I'm gonna help Glenn take out his stuff. My buddy Chris's diecast show in Niagara, Port Colborne area. If any of you guys live in that area, I make the trek down there from time to time. Well, we may as well go ahead and not park so far from the door, because the parking lot's emptying out now. So we'll park a little bit closer, that way when we come back out again, we don't gotta walk 10 miles away. How does that sound? because I don't need to walk further. Like, I will do enough walking at work all week. I drive a forklift, but I got to do other physical stuff. I do a lot of walking through that plant. Come on. Jesus. Oh. That's a bad spot, actually. Come it over here. Sorry, fellas. Just want to kind of park away from people. That way, if I have a cheech and people are coming out with children, they're not walking through my friggin' cloud. And yeah. So we'll go back in, and I'm gonna help Glenn pack up. And then, you know what? I don't want to show you guys the same premiums show after show after show. So I try to show you guys the different stuff, vintage stuff, stuff like that. So there wasn't a lot to see. Well, there's tons of stuff in there, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's the best show in the area. There wasn't a lot that I haven't showed you guys before. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we might head home and unbox a little something on top of this. Do something else, right? Make it worth your time for tuning in. I have a friend that just started collecting the 1 of 18 scale movie cars. His first one was Gone in 60 Seconds Eleanor, and I know the ones that he's after. And he was asking about coming to this show, and I said, honestly, the ones that you're after, they're not really here. Like, I've never bought one except for the that Fixer Upper A-Team band for Glenn. But he wants like mint in the box, like older ones like I collect. And there's not a lot of them here. If he collected smaller scale, I'd say come check it out, because there's some cool stuff. But it's like apples and oranges, you know. I wish somebody would start a 1 of 18 scale show. That would be cool. Just 1 of 18 scale stuff and movie cars, a show just for that. That would be awesome. I had to stop Glenn from buying a Jesse Duke truck too, a Johnny Lightning 1 of 64 scale. I told him buy it at a different time. Just because he's here to make money, I don't want him spending all of it before he gets home, you know? There goes G! And that totally was not G, and that guy just looked at me like I'm a crackhead. There's a real expensive one, guys. I love that Mustang. I love the color of it and everything. That's one of the red lines. Reissue, but still very cool. That's funny. He said he's gonna do a draw for the scalpers only. That's funny. Yeah, that's gorgeous right there. Of course, it's in one of my friend Dave's premium protectors. Hey, this vendor's smart. That Tradesman's another one I'm mad I missed. I had the greenie of that guy, Roscoe. See, it doesn't say Hazard County. Well, it says Hazard County, but it doesn't say Dukes anywhere on it. But they're smart how they do it, eh? Definitely Roscoe's car. Nice older M2. I had a lot of these. I had 50 M2 chases from all sizes, 1 of 24 down. I had raw chases. I had a 1 of 168, I believe. My favorite was my 1 of 250 1970 Challenger. It looked just like the Black Ghost. Close look at a holy grail there. That is considered a holy grail, guys. But it's gorgeous. You'll want this for 800 bucks or more. I was close. But these are numbered as well. You can see the numbers. They don't really number anything anymore. So. He had 2 of these and somebody stole one off him. I'll be watching. Big guy in a green hoodie. If I catch you, Naughty, naughty. Must be good. I love that. That's the one that won the show, my buddy Francisco again. Timbits. Totally Canadian, eh?
His name
Wow.
offhand.
Travis showing me this one. This one's killer too. I love the look of that. Wow.
Yeah, I bought another one off him.
There's another custom. Look at the god ants, how they do them in Japan, I guess. Admiring Francisco's custom, and he shocked the shit out of me and said, "This is for you. He made me one." Oh my goodness. Funny thing is, I was gonna ask him how much for one because I love it. Wow. We'll get glamour shots of that at home. Glad I was still here. G is tired and he forgot a tote of stuff here. Gordon, I'll say goodbye to you on the video too. See you later, buddy. I was just about to get in the car and they called me back. Giuliano, by accident, forgot a whole tote of his stock. So I'm glad that I was there. We took a picture of it, make sure it all looks the same because you got to do that when stuff is changing hands like that. And yeah, I'll have to hook up with him sometime today. But right now, we got to do an errand I forgot about. We got to go buy Bounty Hunter toys and pick up something for Justin. Okay, guys, I had to do voiceover because of music in the store, which isn't a big deal. There's an Ertl Batmobile from 1990. I had one of those on card. San Francisco Comic Con, the A-Team, guys. That is rare. Wow, I didn't have one of those. But this owner is super cool. Let me film in the store. Yeah, they moved from Ottawa Street. They did not have all this die-cast stuff before, guys. Look at the stuff in those cabinets. Look at the Corgi stuff he has. He's got the whole set of Flintstones in Corgi. He's got Popeye set in Corgi. He's got Kojak. And those ones are super mint. It's not push on the bubble and your finger goes through like at that one die-cast show I was at. These are all super mint. Look at Kojak, eh? I was coming to this store on Ottawa Street for years buying my LJN wrestling figures and anything else that caught my eye. Corgi Coca-Cola. He had the wrestler, WWE wrestler Zack Ryder into his store a week or two after I was in the store, and Diane bought me a Hulk Hogan empty shampoo, like a bubble bath bottle from the 80s, and he bought the same one. I was like, he's got cool taste. Any Star Wars fans, hit up Bounty Hunter Toys. Jesus, you won't believe it. My sister would have loved that Bon Jovi. She was a huge fan. That's why I just showed that. But look at the Star Wars stuff. I'm not a fan of Star Wars, guys, but I know some of you guys are. The selection would blow you guys away. I was floored. When I left, I said, dude, wow, I cannot believe the stock you have now. Vintage Rambo. On card. I played with those as a kid. Look at that A-Team. That's vintage. Vintage Galoob. I played with that line when I was a kid. Now, the figures beside it that I'm going to show, those right there, those look vintage, but they can't be. They've got to be customs. They look very similar to the vintage Galoob cards, but they got to be custom cards because for the price of them, that's cheap. But those are the ones, Glenn, I was telling you about right there. They're sitting on the shelf there, those action figures. Below it is more Rambo. Like, he had stuff that blew me away. Look at that, the Ertl A-Team Corvette. I had that on card. Those Fastmax, I didn't have the ones with the red cards. I had the yellow cards above it. Not those. Cabbage Patch Kids, we all know the history of those. He had extensive Batman stuff. I mean extensive. Justin, if you haven't been in there for a while, buddy, you got to check that out. Bill, if you're watching this video, you got to check it out, Batman, Bill. I've never seen that classic Batmobile in the box before, ever. Tons of cool stuff. The ones on the gold cards I'll show you guys were the ones I played with as a kid. These right here, I had that Batwing. Came with a trigger and it fired little discs.
Wow.
Yeah, I was blown away. I'm just telling you guys how blown away I am about the stock in the store here. That's all I'm talking about. I said, he's got tons of shit. This Batmobile here, I had it. The rare part of it is the cocoon thing that goes over it and the missiles. And he's got it mint. And he's got the missiles with it. That's why it's so much money, because you never see... If you see that cocoon, it's all beat up. They were usually thrown out because they're thin plastic. I had that Batman. I was pondering... Is this 3 3/4 inch? I couldn't believe I was pondering it. I thought I had my Batman, and I was like, that's not 3 3/4 inch. That's not G.I. Joe size. I had that Joker too when I was a kid. Squeeze the little ball and it squirts water out of the flower. I had that. Just going back, pondering more about this Batman. Should I buy it? Looks good. It's got the retractable belt. But it was the wrong size, so I'm glad I didn't buy it. I played with these too as a kid. These are mint on card from the 80s. I remember having that Batman. You squeeze the legs and they punch. I had Superman too. But yeah, I was very impressed. Again, guys, this is Bounty Hunter Toys in Hamilton. Used to be on Ottawa, now it's on Kenilworth. I'll show you guys the card at the end here when we leave. Tons of Transformers, vintage G1 stuff. He just had a crazy amount of stuff. I spent a lot of time in there. Like I said, his old store was cool. I'd go in there, but the amount of time I spent in here and the square footage he has now, Jesus. Vintage Masters of the Universe. Vintage Freddy. I believe that's made by LJN, if I'm not mistaken. Leatherface, not quite as old as Freddy. Freddy was like the talking Pee-wee, same line. Might have been Playmates. I'm tired, guys. Sorry. That Voltron there, that's the... it was either RC or it moved. I know that. You put batteries in it. And then he had the one that went together. There's Mask. They found a warehouse full of vintage Mask toys in Chile a few years ago. Google that, guys. A warehouse full of it in boxes. Thundercats. I had Panthro as a kid. I had his Thunder Tank. But yeah, I find a warehouse of stuff. That'll bring the value down. There's the Batwing I had. That Masters of the Universe He-Man. It's a big oversized one, guys. It doesn't look like it because he's so high up, but he's huge. He had vintage G.I. Joe all day long. There's Terminator from the late 90s, early 2000s. I think it was late 90s anyway. The Hovercraft, that was an expensive one growing up. There's some vintage mixed with some reissue, and he has a really good deal. I'm going to show you guys the Walmart reissue line. It looks just like the there they are there. He's got the set of 4 of them for $100, which I think is a pretty good deal because they're all mint. The one that I was missing was Peter Venkman, and it took me forever. Nobody would sell me just the Venkman, and I had to get him off eBay, and it sucked. I paid like $60 for him, but I needed him because I had the whole collection except AEW figures, guys, for days. He had Owen Hart. I didn't even know they made Owen Hart. If I see him in the store, I'm scooping him, and I don't even collect them anymore. I Am a Real American was playing when I showed that Hogan figure, but I chickened out of putting the music. Look at that Road Warrior Animal. He had some figures I've never seen. Look at these 2-packs, guys. Awesome stuff. These 3-packs, I've never seen a lot of them. Like, check that out. Fuji and the Headhunters, or the Islanders, whoever they were. Tank Abbott. I would love to grab that Tank Abbott. I should have checked the price. I'd love to get it autographed. There's Shiki. But look at these wrestling figures. Justin, if you have not been in this store lately, you have got to go in. It's like he's got double the inventory. Like his old store is nothing compared to this. Like a drop in the bucket. His old store, Justin, is like comparing my toy room to your collection. I'll put it that way. There's all the nice ones with the accessories. See, this is where I used to get my expensive ones, guys, because they were worth it. Because like I explained, it's cheaper buying it with the accessory than trying to piece it out. I bought a lot of figures from him because they were really mint condition. Like, look at those. They're not beat up. Like, he doesn't buy garbage when it comes to LJNs, and he knows what people want. So I didn't mind paying the prices because they were excellent quality. That thumb wrestler, Jake the Snake, guys, that's about $300-400, believe it or not. You ever see one of those at Value Village? Scoop her up. You'll get $300 tomorrow in 5 minutes. Those are cool. So I'll show you the place, guys. Bounty Hunter Toys on Kenilworth Avenue North, I believe. Yeah, Kenilworth Avenue North. Here it is. Awesome place. Some good deals I saw in there today. They've got some social medias too. You should check them out. Get back to the Cowie Diecast Museum and see what's cooking. Yeah, that's cool. I can understand why Justin would want me to pick her up, make sure it's safe. And he's gonna come pick it up tonight. And before we head home, let's talk about Francisco. Francisco, you made my day, buddy. He made one of these that won the contest. I was showing you guys and admiring it. He's always gracious to let me do that. And then before I left, he walked up and said, "This is for you." Established 1964. I think it's awesome because we're not far from the first ever Tim Hortons. Maybe some of you guys don't know that. But it used to be my closest Timmy's, actually. I lived right around the corner, but store one, Timmy's, was right here in Hamilton. Another little known fact, Tim Horton didn't sell donuts first, and it wasn't in Hamilton. The first Tim Hortons was outside of... It was in cottage country anyway. I can't remember exactly where, but it's like Muskoka, whatever, somewhere up there. But it was Tim Hortons, like, hamburgers. And it was a hamburger stand, but I guess it tanked. So we went into donuts. I don't know if Francisco sells his work, but I'm going to be pimping that out all over the place because he did a phenomenal job on it. Wild. I love it. I mean... And he let me pick between the two of them because the contest winner, the tires were a little bit different, but I was good keeping the stock ones because they actually look good with the white. Awesome guy though. Bob's Scuba Shop. See that scuba shop there, guys? I remember walking by there hammered drunk years ago. It's funny, the place is still open, just loaded drunk. And these two kids were getting busted because they kicked in the front window to it and there was an alarm going off. But there used to be a bar around here called the Down Under Bar or something like that. And at one point, it changed hands a few times, and at one point, somebody we knew owned it. And then we kind of had like an after hours thing going on out of there, but this was, like I said, a long time ago, guys. But I don't get involved with that stuff anymore. But yeah, it's might have been involved in a little after hours bar like a few feet from here, but like I said, it was a long time ago. Anyway, let's cruise. Look at this, bylaw enforcement about to come over and give me a ticket, or try to. I thought it was free Saturday, whatever. I don't know if they're gonna try to ticket me, but I just flipped that up in the window and he looked over. I don't know if he wanted to ticket me, but he was definitely looking over at my car, kind of funny. But I only use the pass if my knee is bothering me or if my ankle's bothering me. My ankle is okay lately. It's the knee that gets stiff in the cold weather from the compensation injury. But other than that, we're golden. Let's take the scenic route, guys. I'll take you down scenic Barton Street. See what we can see here. Maybe we'll get another guy who wants to drag race. Eh? guy wants to drag race us. But I'll record on the way home and we'll chat, because sometimes I see crazy shit and I say, I wish I was recording that. So now we're gonna see if we see anything crazy, but now nothing will happen. But glad I got the guy that thought I wanted to race him earlier. That was funny. I pulled up on him, and as soon as I pulled up on him, he just took off. He just smoked that. I gotta stop saying that. I can trust you guys. This thing's a sleeper, you know that. He wouldn't have smoked us. He wouldn't have smoked us. This thing's got the 2-liter with the green coolant. But all joking aside though, guys, actually I've got a funny story I forgot to tell you about, about my addiction history. So I have not had a relapse for opiates, not a single one, okay? Actually, I got 2 funny stories I'll share. One, I had a positive pee test for opiates, and the only problem was I didn't have a relapse or didn't touch opiates. This was actually probably close to 2 years ago now anyway, but I go in and it's a new doctor, one that I had never dealt with before, because I have to do a urine test, random ones, and when I go in. So I did my urine, and I'm chatting with this doctor that I've never dealt with before, and I'm sitting across the desk from him, and he says to me, so what happened? I said, well, what do you mean what happened? He goes, well, you've had a slip up. And I knew what he was talking about. He meant like I used drugs, right? I thought he was just kidding around, because he seemed like a very, like a good-natured man, right? So I kind of laughed at him and went, yeah, okay. And he goes, no, seriously, what happened? He goes, I see a positive for, well, at first they were saying morphine. And I said, no, you don't. But that was my exact response, was no, you didn't. Because picture, you're sitting there, like picture you've never done, I'll give you an example. Picture you've never done a drug in your life, and somebody's sitting there telling you did. You know what I mean? Well, this isn't that I've never done morphine in my life, because I used to take the 200 milligram morphine sulfates like they were candy. Did lots of them. But I haven't done them in years. And that guy was an idiot. Anyway, so I start getting angry about it. I don't know this guy, and he's telling me basically I'm a liar to my face, and I know I've not done anything. And he says, do you want me to send it to a lab and hammer it? I said, send it to a lab, do whatever you want to do. I said, I know I didn't use drugs, and you're calling me a liar. I said, so yeah, you better do something. So they sent it away to a lab, and it came back positive for codeine. Because I guess codeine metabolizes into morphine, like Tylenol 3s if you take them and stuff. After a while, it metabolizes into morphine in your blood. So they got the positive that was codeine. And I said, okay, but that's still bullshit. And he's going, but Neil, this is good. It's not a big deal. Codeine's legal. He goes, you can buy it at Walmart. I said, yeah, but it's a big deal because you're telling me I did something I didn't take. It doesn't matter if it's legal. I didn't take it. And by the way, guys, before anybody gets any ideas, they sell codeine over the counter in Canada. You can go in and buy hundreds of tablets at a time in Walmart. The only problem is they load them with codeine, or not codeine, with caffeine. So if you're that junkie that wants that naughty buzz, unless you know how to cook the caffeine out of those pills, it's not gonna work. You're gonna be wired from caffeine, and it's not a good feeling. But that's how they got around that. They loaded them with caffeine. So yeah, it's true, in Canada you could buy codeine over the counter, but nobody does because it's not good. But anyway, so I started saying, well, I've never taken it. I haven't had a relapse, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what that says. It's wrong. Have you done any street drugs, cocaine or anything that it might have been cut with anything? No, nothing, period. And then he says to me, he looks at me funny, he goes, "Can I ask you a question?" "What's that?" "What did you have to eat today?" I said, "What do you mean by that?" He goes, "Just what did you have to eat? Like, start with breakfast." And the cops were just tailing a guy big time. They're right behind him, a guy in a truck, running his plate. But anyway, I said, "I don't know." I said, "I had a bagel this morning with my ice cap." He said, "What kind of bagel was it?" I said, "What?" I said, "Why?" I said, "It was an everything bagel." I said, I didn't take pills with the bagel." And he goes, "Bingo." He goes, "What time was that at?" I said, "It was on my way to work. I start work at 4 a.m., so it was probably 3:30 this morning." And he said, "Well, it's 1 p.m. now." He goes, "That's your positive." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Everything bagel from Tim Hortons full of poppy seeds." I said, "You're kidding." I said, "That's not a wives' tale." He said, "That is not a wives' tale. Look it up." So I did just that. I looked. Now, thankfully, before we discovered this, my wife believed me 100%, and I love her for it. She believed me. She said, "Neil, I know something happened because I know you're not using drugs." She goes, "I know you when you're on drugs, and I know you when you're off drugs, and you're two different people. Something's going on." And even when they said it was a positive for Cody, and I said, "Diane, I've not been to," she said, "Neil, I know." She said, "You don't have to tell me." Like, she never doubted me because she knows I'm just done with it, right? So I Googled it, and the first thing that came up, and you guys can Google it too, was an article about a lady. I guess she was in the hospital somewhere in the United States. And they have, surprisingly, Tim Hortons in the hospital, some of the hospitals in the United States, because her husband got her, she just gave birth to her baby, her husband brought her an everything bagel. She eats the bagel, and next thing you know, several hours later, she had police and child welfare at her bedside, basically calling her a junkie, telling her they were taking her baby because she was using opiates. And this was somebody with no drug history, like, that had no idea about any of this. And they're telling her that she's been using opiates during her pregnancy. And I don't know how they figured out that she wasn't, but she almost got hauled to jail over a bagel. And I thought to myself, now, of course, when people fail a drug test, like, thankfully my doctor believed me. But he said, "Neil, I'll give you an example. The girl that came in before you that tested positive for fentanyl started freaking out, saying I didn't do anything, and then pulled out a bag of weed, plopped it on my desk, and saying that fucker cut my weed with fentanyl, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe her." He goes, "I've seen all the excuses." And I thought about it. I said, I can imagine the excuses this guy's heard for failed piss tests, right? But luckily, he believed me. And that's what it was. It was that bagel. So on test day, I don't eat an everything bagel. And if any of you guys have tests for for even a job, don't eat an everything bagel or any poppy seeds, because it's not a wives' tale. It's 100% truth. So that's my only failed drug. Actually, I had another failed drug test, but it was only failed for 2 seconds. This one was funny. I played a joke on them, didn't tell them I take Adderall, which on the pill bottle, it says amphetamine right on the bottle, okay? I have ADHD, so I take it. It helps me function. If I gave it to one of you guys that's normal functioning, you would act like a crackhead. Like, people would think you were on drugs, okay? So I didn't tell them I was on it, and let them start asking me why I was on meth, because it actually came up in my drug test, basically a dirty for meth, my Adderall. That's one drug I've touched everything, but that's one thing I've never screwed with, you know what I mean? Did enough coke to knock down a horse, but was never into meth, luckily. probably why I still have my teeth. But one more drug tale as I'm going to Walmart is this is something more recent too, but you guys know I had my ankle surgery, and this is a message for anybody in recovery. It's okay to take prescription painkillers if you're taking them properly and it's prescribed, okay? After my surgery, my doctor says to me, he goes, I know your story, because for my surgery, I didn't let them give me normal morphine drip and all that. They gave me a fucking epidural, okay? Froze me. Because I didn't want the narcotics, right? Now, after surgery, I was feeling great. I wasn't in any pain at all. I couldn't feel my lower half, right? So the doctor says to me, now I'm gonna, Neil, I know what you said, but I'm gonna write you just one prescription for Percocet. Now, when I was using drugs, I used to be able to take 5 Percocet, chew them up in my mouth and swallow them, and you wouldn't even know I took anything. And that would barely keep me from getting sick. Okay, now perks, I wouldn't even buy them unless there was nothing else around. And 5 of them might give me a couple hours from withdrawal, okay? They would do nothing to me. So I just gave him the wave. So anyway, he says, I'm gonna prescribe you it for pain. You're gonna need them. I said, doctor, what did I tell you? My doctor was a specialist, right? Worked on the Hamilton Tiger Cats, like a specialist for this type of injury. Like my first consultation, he had me figured out, right? What the problem was. So anyway, I said, we talked about this. I can't take opiates. He said, Neil, this is different. I said, I broke it 3 years ago, or 2.5, whatever it was, years ago. I went to work every day on it, the size of a football. There was days I had to miss work because I couldn't get my work shoe on, and that's when Diane made me go to the hospital. She got angry at me. She said, this is ridiculous. I'm taking you in to get looked at because I couldn't get my shoe on. So he says to me, Neil, he goes, you're tough. He goes, I'll give you that. He goes, you've been a trooper about this. He goes, I can't believe you were walking around like that. He said, but this is different pain. He said, this is not something you're used to. He said, this is, I said, trust me. I said, I'll be fine. He said, Neil, we were sawing into your bones. This is not something you're used to. He said, believe me, I'm going to write you the prescription anyway. He said, if I was wrong, don't take it. He said, take it if you need it. I said, okay, fair enough. So I gave the prescription to Diane. I said, there you go. If I need it, we'll fill it, but I doubt I'll need it. So the day I come back from the hospital, I'm sitting in my chair. I'm not feeling any pain. I got my bag of weed. I got everything else, right? Bottle of Advil. Diane says, I'm going to work. Do you need me to fill that prescription? She was starting to get worried. I said, no, I'm fine. I told everybody I'm fine, right? I thought that I had a bigger tough threshold than everybody else because everybody, when I went to work, nobody could believe I had a broken ankle. They thought I was bullshitting them, right? About an hour after Diane left, I started getting pain, and it was a pain like I had never felt in my life. I called Diane up, I staved it off as long as I can, and it got to the point where I could barely dial my cell phone. I couldn't sit in my chair. I ended up laying on the living room floor. I called Diane, she answered the phone, and there's Neil crying like a baby. I was almost wailing, guys. The doctor, what he said to me was correct. It turns out this surgeon that works on the Tiger Cats knew what he was talking about, you know what I mean? He knew more than me, it turns out. But I was on the ground, I'm not embarrassed to tell you guys this, crying like a baby, begging her, please go get me the medication, and she said, I'm at work, and I started saying, I'm gonna fucking call somebody. Like, I was ready to call a dope dealer. Like, that's how bad it was. I was in a panic, right? So luckily, I couldn't believe this, but she says, I'm gonna call Antonia and have her come pick up the prescription. It's a mutual friend of ours for years, and pick it up. I said, they're not gonna give it to her. I said, they don't know her. They know you as my wife. They're not gonna hand her over a painkiller. And she said, well, we have to try it. Sure enough, half hour later, Antonia is at my door. I've got your medication. I said, oh my good Lord. Like, I was bawling my eyes out. And she gives me, I took them as prescribed. I was worried these are not going to do anything. I burnt out my synapses in my brain. If you look that up, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I said I burnt out my receptors. They're not going to work. They're too weak, right? I took 2 Percocets. Within 15 minutes, I was talking to her. I was comfortable. We were joking and stuff. And she said, wow, you're a lot better. I said, I can't believe they're working. Half hour later, guys, I was asleep. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was asleep, passed out from 2 Percocet. This is after years of not taking it. You know what I mean? But my message is for anybody in recovery that has a surgery, don't make the stupid mistake I made. Take it. If you're nervous about it, have somebody monitor it. Make sure that they're dispensing it to you if you have to. Diane was watching mine like a hawk. She was watching them. She trusted me, but I told her watch them. I said, you give them out to me, and she did. I handed her the bottle. Well, we're gonna go check toys quickly, if it's open, which I think it is. So then we're gonna go home and eat our meatball sub. Wow, they still sell crazy carpets. I'm surprised in this day and age. Woof. I keep coming to the wrong aisle. They changed where the cars are, but wrestling figures are here now, so we'll have a look. Same old, same old. I just wanted to stop in randomly on a Saturday, random time, just in case, but oh, guys, I don't even gotta say anything to you guys. Black. Not Toys R Us's fault. It's like this. At Walmart too, after Christmas drought. No new Matchbox. Damn it. I like the color of that guy. Nada, guys. Nothing. Same stuff as all week. I was gonna say somebody took all the Eleanors I showed off in that video, but there's one left. These little cars here, I found a couple that were like movie cars. And one of them was this. Pretty cool, eh? Cheap enough mini Eleanor. I think it's a pullback too. Yeah, it's a Shelby. Clearly that's Eleanor. Cheap Eleanor. There's a funny game you can play on the service road where you race the cars on the highway and you try to beat them when they're going highway speed. No, just kidding, guys. I wouldn't do that. Come on. The pavement's wet. I'm not gonna wreck my car. Come on. But on a serious note, you saw the garbage. Well, no offense to Toys R Us, it's not their fault. Every Christmas, after Christmas, we get the drought. It's almost like they go full blast before Christmas, putting stuff out, and run out of stuff. Like, because they go so heavy before Christmas. That's just a theory anyway. You're gonna hear that lady chirp in any minute telling us to turn. So if you do, don't let it scare you, and I apologize for that.
In 500 meters, turn right onto Green Road.
There she is, telling us to turn right at the lights. So, and I forgot to put my belt on, so I'm gonna do that. Holy crap, bud, you're on my butt, the guy behind us.
Turn right onto Green Road.
Not enough? Wow. Come on down, bud. Jeez. Jeez. But,
continue on Green Road for 2 kilometers.
that Tim Hortons custom that I got, that's pretty awesome, actually. Pretty cool. And Bounty Hunter Toys, guys, by the way, when I was collecting LJN figures, he always had a huge selection, okay? Now, that's where I went if I was going to pay a premium for the figures, but the reason I went there is because it was worth it. They were always in excellent shape. Now, these were the more expensive ones. I found when I was collecting the LJNs, you're cheaper in the long run to buy the figure with its accessory, like say Harley Race with its crown or Hulk Hogan with his belt, than buying them separately and trying to piece them together. Unless you get lucky like I did, and Diane at a yard sale found a beat up hacksaw Jim Duggan with his 2x4, got it for $15, and the 2x4 itself was selling for over $100 because it was so rare. And then I got a mint hacksaw figure for $30, so I had like a $150 figure for $45, whatever I paid altogether. So that worked out good. Yeah, so right now, by the way, that tote of toys does not belong to G. So I'm hoping when I get home I'm not tagged in a bunch of hysterical posts. Most people know me and they know I wouldn't do anything shady. It's probably why I'm not getting a bunch of text messages right now. Nobody even knows it's missing yet, I don't think. All I'm going by is Giuliano telling me he doesn't own it. And his cousin Mike doesn't own it. Mike's also a vendor, so if those guys don't own it, who owns it? Why haven't they noticed it gone? You know whose it looks like, actually, and I'm not trying to give the cures, but it's the same type of bin that Glenn uses. But Glenn, this bin was found on the other side of the room, so I doubt it would be Glenn's. But I'm gonna get home and see if anybody messaged me, and if nobody messaged me, I'm gonna have to crack that bin open and post about it in ODA and say who's missing a bin, because I was given this bin. And it's funny because just by luck it's usually me that gets tasked with this stuff. They know I know Giuliano, but the problem is it's not Giuliano's bin. 10 to 1 this is going to belong to a guy out of town. It's not going to be a guy that lives here, and it's going to be a guy that wants to pick it up at like some insane time when I'm working morning shifts or something like that. Not necessarily the guy's fault. He doesn't work the screwed up shifts that I work. Most people don't, but it's usually the luck that I get. But I'll have to see if we could track down the owner of it. I'm sure they'll come forward. I'm hoping the right person comes forward.
In 300 meters, sharp left onto King Street East.
Talk over me. I might have to do one of those posts saying identify what's in the tote type thing. But yeah, we'll find the owner.
Sharp left onto King Street East.
Nobody's forgetting about that. A tote full of Hot Wheels and team transports and everything. Nobody's not noticing that. I guarantee it.
In 300 meters, your destination will be on the
They
right.
might not notice now, but when they get home and unpack, they're going to notice. They might be slipping now because they're tired, but I guarantee you that's going to get noticed. So when we get in and settled, I'll make a post about that. Yeah, but right now we got a few groceries here. I have to pick up some of the vitals, and some vitals for tonight until we do groceries tomorrow. I just got my bagels. It's cheaper if I buy them tonight than go to Tim Hortons tomorrow and pay for one, but I'll pay for a week's supply. I figured that out when Diane left. Starting to shop a little bit better and not eat out all the time. The first month she was gone, I was eating out, and it was costing me a fortune. Anyway, guys, I'll see you at the Cowie Diecast Museum. Crap. I'm a bit nervous. Glenn's already home. If if you were at ODA today, and I seen a few of you there, I hope you got one of these. Look at the size of it compared to my hand. Homemade meatballs, and I get it with hot peppers, just homemade meatballs, hot peppers. Best sub in town, and when they give it to you, it's steaming out of the oven. It's amazing. And eating them the next day, I did that before. I got 2 of them, one to eat the next day, and they're still just as good. While we give that a zap in the nuker, we're gonna get some proper glamour shots of this guy out of the bag. I'm gonna put some gloves on to handle him. And we'll go over the unboxing, because we're gonna do an unboxing this video since I didn't get a ton of footage of stuff inside the show because I didn't want to bore you guys with the same stuff. ODA is an awesome show. There's tons of stuff, but it's just the nature of collecting. A lot of it's the same premium stuff and that. And I don't want to bore you guys with it. But we're going to get glamour shots of this, do an unboxing as well. Getting it under the nice bright light, guys, but this is gorgeous. So it's the, obviously the Hot Wheels Combi, Cool Combi, whatever. That's the casting of it. These are wildly popular. They come out with Barbie ones. Any one they come out with, these are wildly popular. This is cool. I don't know if my friend Francisco, when he gave it to me, realized this. He probably does though, but Hamilton has the first Tim Hortons, like I told you guys. You know what? If you guys want to see that, let me know and I'll go down and take you guys for a tour of it, because it's actually, they made a museum out of it and it's pretty well done. I complained at first, but they did a good job. But Francisco did amazing with this. That looks great. Francisco is an awesome guy. He told me something actually that made me feel good a while back. I can't remember when exactly. But he said, Neil, you probably don't remember this, but he said, I was brand new in the hobby and you sold me stuff, and not only did you ship it to me, and I know that you don't normally like to do that, but you sent it to me. But he said you gave it to me for like retail cost. And he goes, a lot of other people were trying to just, I guess, price gouge him because he was a new guy. And he said, I never forgot that. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Because at first I never remembered it. And that's just something normal that I do, right? But I loved that it stuck out in his mind and he never forgot it. Mind you, he's never obligated to give me something. Look, even there, guys, established 1964. But he's never obligated to give me anything. This shocked me because, like I said, he had one just identical except for the wheels. And it won the customs contest. And I was over getting you guys footage of it, and that's when he handed me an identical one. Wild. I believe in karma, guys, and I don't believe in telling good deeds. I just told you guys about that with Francisco just because it was a good memory. But you'll never see me out handing out pizzas to the homeless and putting it on video. And it's not like I don't do good deeds for a lot of people. I actually do a lot of good deeds for people. I just don't believe in getting it on video for clicks and likes and stuff like that. I believe that if I do a good deed for somebody, and I have to announce it on Facebook, it kind of cancels out my good deed. I'm kind of superstitious. I believe in karma. I do on others, all that stuff. And that's just my belief. If you're going to do something nice, you don't got to broadcast it. And I didn't broadcast it back then, and I hope you guys aren't like, why are you broadcasting it now? It's just a good memory of Francisco and how I met the guy. It was through me selling him stuff, actually, and him liking that I didn't gouge the heck out of him in price. So, Francisco, if you're watching, buddy, amazing work. I'm in love with this. I have very few 1 of 64 scales now, and 3/4 of the ones I do are beautiful customs. And this is perfect. Like, you got the decals. Perfect. I love that. That is amazing. Sorry, guys. I can't stop looking at this thing. I love that he put the established in 1964 too. Ooh, guys, right out of the microwave. Once again, if you live in Hamilton, sorry, Bronzies, but this is the best in town. Anyway, guys, I was thinking something. We got a ton of footage today. And I think if I add the unboxing to it, because we went to Bounty Hunter Toys as well, stuff like that, I think it's going to be a 3.5 hour video. And that is way, way too long, because I know myself, I would have to watch that over a couple days. So I know what I have time for, and I'm not going to put a 3-hour video for you guys. Maybe this will be an hour or something. I don't know. I got to stab it together still. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. We went to the ODA show. Swung by Bounty Hunter Toys to get a killer figure for Justin picked up, who's going to come by pick it up tonight. We got an awesome custom that I'm in love with that thing, man. I can't wait to put up pictures of it later. And I'm just about to dig into my sub with a Pepsi and relax and do stuff around here tonight. So anyway, guys, thank you a lot for watching. Please smash the like button for me. Smash it hard. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Come over to the Retro Maniac family. Come get your patch. And share with others so they can get their patch and be in the Retro Army. And as always, guys, happy hunting.